Okay, so this is the Artist Cafe where we get together to talk art and life and whatever else. And today I have my guest Mysha here. And for those who don't know me, I'm Ann-Marie Cheung. I am a visual artist and creative adventure guide. And I will let Mysha introduce herself.
I am Mysha, and I am a huge fan of Ann-Marie's. I can tell you that much. And I am a budding artist. I have recently switched from being product driven to process oriented, and I'm just glowing. Like, I absolutely love the just the more intuitive painting and the creativity. And I've really found that in my life when I am involved in a creative process, I'm happier. So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
And how we know each other, so we met through the Creatively Fit coaching program that we're in right now with Whitney Freya, and it's a pretty fantastic course, isn't it?
Yeah,
um,
I love it.
yeah, I was just wondering, how did you come into Whitney's world to start off with?
Um, I love this story actually. I actually met Whitney. She lives very close to my parents in Oregon, and I actually met Whitney as a paraglider. I was filming the paragliding club, and um, this guy, I had carpooled, and so kind of their sage, their wise. Gosh, I think he's been paragliding for like 25 years or something. Incredible.
Wow.
And he was like, "Oh, you're an artist? Like, you're going to love Whitney. You'll see her because she's the rainbow wing." And I'm like, oh, "Okay." And sure enough, like, she's coming down and just like this beautiful rainbow glider. And it was just so, oh, and she's wonderful. Her energy is so great. And she very much is just such a beautiful soul. And so we just got to spend a lot of time with paragliding, but also after the day was finished, going over and at one or the other paraglider's house, we would do like cider pressing, like, or apple pressing for cider, or
Wow.
kind of like a potluck or something. Yeah. So it actually, um, she and I traded video footage for her Tara painting class. And so because I didn't know, much about what she did for like, we were just like paragliding. It was beautiful. And
Mm.
so when she was like, "Well, I have these art courses, would you be interested in trading?" Because I was just, the concept of money for me is like something I'm working through. And
Mm-hmm.
so with Whitney, she was like, "I really want to pay you." And I was like, "I would way rather take your Tara painting class." And she's like, "Heck yeah, girl." And so I did.
Nice.
So I took her Tara painting class and just fell in love, and was just the next. I mean, I started in the December 2020 round. Um, I had just come off a 367-day daily painting. And so it was
Mm.
very every single day, product driven, have to get it done by midnight, And so I finished that the middle of November. And so December 1st, I started Tara, and it was just like, what a difference. But also just like, I was so just grateful for the process. And I just knew, I was like, I
Mm.
want everything. And so when I saw that she was offering a creatively fit coaching certification, I watched the kind of intro video and just was going, "Yep, this is me. This is absolutely."
Mm.
Yeah.
I would love to try paragliding sometime.
Talk about just
That's on my bucket list of things to do.
the most amazing, because it's, like, I was one of those people that was very much like, "Oh, I want to skydive." And then
Mm.
I was paragliding, and I'm going, "Why would you ever want to skydive when you can just float?" Because really, that's
Mm.
like, you're just there, you're just floating. Like, when it's not, I mean, obviously, if there's turbulence, or like if you're doing some acro stuff or whatever. But on my first flight, I was tandem, of course, like I wasn't flying my own glider or anything, but I still say it was one of the best days in my whole life. It was one of my most favorite experiences. And at the end of it, like we had to land because I was getting motion sickness. And I still am
really?
like, it doesn't even matter. It's still an amazing day. Like it was still one of the best experiences ever, even though like I'm like, we need to land. We need to land now. You know, it was so like even
wow,
then.
must have been amazing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so
I want to do it.
oh yeah, no, you have to. You definitely, oh my gosh, it was brilliant. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. I mean, I definitely immediately was like, okay, I up until now had not been one for exercise, but this seems like a very great way to get exercise and be outdoors. And how much does it cost and where do I buy stuff? But because of the world pandemic and the shutdown, you couldn't really buy things. Like it wasn't just a normal day where you could just like, oh yeah, I'll buy a glider. So it was really interesting because I definitely have like the entire club. I'm like, be on the lookout for a used but good glider for my weight class. And, you know, so and I mean, I'm definitely still combating the like, okay, I know that it's going to take a lot of physical commitment. But the freedom that I felt, and that's why, I'm also in another class with Whitney in the Unstoppable Dream. And we're doing an archwell, and the first month was freedom, and a bunch of birds showed up in my eyes closed finger painting, and it was just bird after bird after bird, and I'm like, I wonder if this is saying that I should be paragliding.
Bird, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So how about you? Because you said you've known Whitney for a while, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I knew her way back. I was on her email list. I think she was just starting out with the Creatively Fit coaching, and I wanted to do it back then, but I didn't have enough money, or just the timing wasn't right. And then just recently, she came back into my life. Like there was an email that came up or something, but I ended up finding her on Facebook again because I wasn't connected to her. And then I joined her group on Facebook, and then I remembered how I wanted to take the Creatively Fit coaching way back when, and so then I just jumped in because the time was right, like perfect timing, like
divine timing. It's amazing.
Divine timing, yeah.
Yeah, and it just is so, when you're willing to work with the universe, it's so amazing how it's just like, oh, what about here's this, and this is another thing that's going to dovetail so beautifully with what you're doing. And because you're like what, 2 weeks out from certified yoga instructor, right?
Yeah, I've been taking that course about the same time. It was over 8 months, doing like a weekend, like an intensive weekend once a month. So yeah, coming up to finishing that. So I'm working on my class that I'm presenting.
Wonderful.
But it's been quite the spiritual journey as well with the yoga. It's been life-changing. Same with the course with Whitney too. Everything's been life-changing. I mean, going through all these transformations. And yeah, I think because when my mom passed away in 2019, and then I decided I would be following my true path, my true passion and purpose in life. Because up until then I was working, I was in multimedia design.
Okay.
So, and I was working, actually freelance, working from home.
So you were already pretty set with the home hours. So you're you're good at setting aside those like work hours or whatever you need. That's great.
Sort of, but not really. I'm kind of.
You're like, oh, pretty good if I come to a deadline, but maybe.
Yeah, if I have like a project to work on, like I'm good with a deadline, but I don't know, I just kind of go with the flow in my Well, actually, I set myself some tasks. Like, I'm not like totally out there. I do set myself a few tasks to do every day. I write them handwritten and go through those.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so how long have you been painting?
All my life.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was gonna say, I feel like I connected with you right away when you did the live where you cut up like your 20-foot long painting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I went to art school and everything. Like right after high school, there was only one school that I wanted to attend, and that was it. I wanted to be an artist, and it was rather kind of prestigious school here to get into, but I only applied to the one school, and I got in.
You knew, yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I kind of lived the starving artist lifestyle for a long time. But
that old paradigm.
Yeah, but I was traveling a lot. I hitchhiked through, well, partially hitchhiked, but traveled through Europe, backpacked through Europe, and then I moved down.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was traveling. Oh.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. I was trying to respond to Robin on the Facebook, and then I got us talking on both, and I was like, whoops, yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, I can't see comments are not coming up on mine. I just want to hit, just hit refresh. Oh, yeah, hi, yeah, Robin's there. I see the comment now. Hi, Robin. Nice to see you here. So yeah, I was saying I was, yeah, I just kind of was leading a starving artist lifestyle, waitressing and stuff like that to support my art, and traveling, doing lots of traveling. And I ran a couple of way back there with an old boyfriend of mine. We set up some galleries and ran those, and
beautiful,
back in the younger days. And well, eventually I got into computers and multimedia design when I decided I needed to make some serious money, like get a kind of like a serious occupation.
Yeah.
You know,
job. Yeah.
Job, a real job.
Right. A real job.
Yeah, but now I've come around full circle and getting back into doing the art again, and I have a different mindset now about the money. Like the money should be, I should be able to make a good living at doing something I'm passionate about, and we all should.
Absolutely.
Be able to do this, right?
It's so interesting how we were raised in this, I don't know if it's society or world or whatnot, but it was just very much like, oh, it's a job. Like you're not going to enjoy your job. Your job is to make the money so you can do the things you enjoy. And you're going, well, but that doesn't really make much sense now, does it? And so I think it's so wonderful when people really do find, and especially now with the internet, I mean, you can make a living if you are very passionate about something. I mean, there is no reason you cannot make a living doing what you're passionate about. I was just watching something and it was like, I mean, there's a guy that's making a living teaching like how to make sourdough bread. Like just straight up, like that's what he's doing is like different how to be perfect at making sourdough bread. And you're just going, or like some lady that's talking about like goat milk or something, and you're going, if people can make a living talking about goat milk, there's no reason you can't make a living to being an artist. I mean, for
sure. Yeah, exactly.
You know? And it's the creative medicine, right? Just like how we really take for granted, you're going everything. And then it's like, there's a reason they have museums. There's a reason there are places where you can sit and just have that view of a painting and really be able to feel it.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, and if anybody has any questions, just comment. Oh, there's a comment. Robin says, I love the actual art now by hand again after I had to do so much on computer and business. How was that for you, Anne-Marie? Yeah, I like the hand, going back to working with my hands. Yeah, there's nothing like it. And producing something by hand. And that, there's just, I don't know, it's just so much different than digital. Because I was making digital art for a while as well. But there's nothing like getting your fingers into the paint and just, I don't know.
that and also like I feel like the kind of the control you have with the pressure. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, some of the new brush packs I've just purchased for Procreate on the iPad with the Apple Pencil, I mean, they're definitely perfecting the art of, you know, the pressure and the brush stroke. But yeah, there's just something about, you know, like picking up, you know, and even when it's like a well-used brush, but you know that mark that brush is going to make, and you know how to turn it just ever so slightly as you're making that line. Like there's something to be said about just there's nothing between you and the art. You know, it's not like you and the screen and then the art. It's just you and the art. And I think that's absolutely.
Yeah, Robin says the touch is important. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I have one of those big Cintiq drawing where I can draw it directly on the screen that I bought. It was kind of because I thought I was going to be doing more of the digital art, but I just returned to the painting. It just feeds my soul.
Right, and it's such amazing energy and work. And I really about, yeah, it was 10 years ago. I had a dream job, and I was like, you know, 10 years old. I want to be a designer for James Purse is all I wanted to do. And I got an internship between my junior and senior year of college at James Purse. They hired me on full time. You know, it was like everything I dreamed of, right? But then you kind of get into it and you're going, this isn't as fun as I thought. And so I quit. Like I finally made the decision to quit the corporate job and freelance. And I really dove into, I very much had fear of the blank page. Like I was always like the 6H pencil, like, nah, I'm going to be like super light. So I don't have to, you know, if I make any mistake, nobody can tell. And so when I quit my corporate job and started freelancing, I also started working with markers. Like I just bought what was it? 300 and whatever pack Prismacolor dual tip markers. And I was just like, nice. Nope, like this is the mark and you can't cover it up. Like it's not, you know, and I just went for it. And oh my gosh, I was creating every day. And I had always said, I'm like, oh man, that was my best year. Because of course, a year later, I'm going, well, I should really get a real job and I should get back into, you know, the real world. And and I always said like, oh, that was my best year. Like, oh, it was so special. And then coming back around a decade later, 2020, I start those, you know, like I'm doodling every day. I've got, you know, painting every day. I'm coming back into that art practice, that creativity practice every day. And I was going, oh, what an amazing year. And then I started this course, you know, what was it? Would we start February 1st?
The beginning sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was, and then I'm going, oh man, this is such an amazing year too. And I was going, holy cow, could it possibly have anything to do with the fact that I'm creating art every day? Like, oh my gosh, you know, and it is like, I'm just so like it's just the creativity and painting, and it's just so special. And it just really does kind of create that space for yourself to either relax or maybe to get out some aggression. I mean, the other day I created this like super muddy painting. It was just like, because I didn't know, I had so many ideas swirling and I didn't know what direction. And I was like, And it was like, this is how I felt, like all muddy and confused, but, and, with Whitney's courses, it's like, it's so beautiful that she like brings you back around and you're going, yes, every single step, every single layer really does bring you to where you are now. Like the beautiful masterpiece didn't start a beautiful masterpiece. You had to get to there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find art too has a lot of healing power because, well, I went through a rather messy breakup about 8 years ago. And at that time I started doing mandalas just to calm me down, and just, I did a whole series of them.
You have a coloring book, right?
Yeah. These mostly drawings. Yeah, I started drawing and then I did paintings, and I just found it was a very healing process in the creating of mandalas.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my first mandala I ever created was, I think with Angela Murray on our guide for like I think she was like maybe the very first open studio with Creatively Fit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that was my first ever like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was, yeah, and then, yeah, I've kind of, well, it's so funny because there's so many things that, and that's another thing about the Creatively Fit coaching program. I love this new direction where we get all the different guides and we have the open studio from each person, because I think it's so great to have all these different perspectives and all these different strengths from these different artists showing you different techniques. I think that was, every single open studio, I'm like, oh, I learned this new thing, and how cool is this? And
I know, yeah, they bring so much variety. There was that one with the dance.
Oh my gosh, right, Deanna? Absolutely. Oh
I love that. I love dance. I don't know, it's just that just got to me, that one.
Right, and that was another thing. I was like, because I know that paragliding season in Oregon is ramping up, and I know that generally speaking, I'm very happy in my bubble and happy in my house. And so I generally, up until now, haven't really ventured out very much. I'm very like, oh, no, it's okay. Like, I'm okay just right here. Because, you can control the environment, the temperature, the noise, everything. But I was like, okay, I need to start getting a little bit of exercise so that I'm not hurting walking up and down the hills like I did last summer. So I was going, okay. And I have this wonderful friend, and he's a personal trainer, and he set me up with all the things, and we did our, consultation, and he figured, because he said, like, you need to be super honest. And I was like, okay, well, I don't like exercising. Like, and so he very much was going, okay, so dance. So we have to get you on a dance schedule. And he's like, you don't even have to learn any specific dance moves, but like, yeah. And if you want to do, he's got me doing some rope flow stuff that's very fun. And so he's really been a lifesaver, because I'm just like, I just don't want to do sit-ups. Like, I just don't. I just don't want to do sit-ups.
Exercise has to be fun for me, or I can't do it. I'm not a treadmill kind of girl for sure. Right? So yeah, with the yoga, I find yoga is like the mind-body connection. That's why I love yoga. I also do jiu-jitsu. I've been doing that for a couple of years, I love martial arts too, which is the same with the mind-body connection. And plus it's fun.
That's what my friend did.
You're playing.
Yeah, he's like, you might want to look into a jiu-jitsu class, because he's like, that seems like something that would maybe be your speed, that it's not, a high intensity workout, yeah, because I would love yoga. Lori, one of our other fellow students, she's also working on her yoga certification, and we were talking about it, and it's hard to do introduction to yoga over Zoom. Like, because I don't know, like, I've never done yoga, but I'm really excited about it, and I think it's so wonderful. And like you said, that mind body because it really is when you're holding, because I've watched some yoga videos for sure, and even just watching it, you're going, and you're just breathing a little bit differently, which is allowing for a lot more connection. But then I go to start doing some of the moves and I'm going, am I even doing this right? It doesn't feel like I'm doing this right. And so we were talking about, when you're very, very beginner, it's probably better to be in person with or like at the studio so that you actually have
and the teacher can actually see what you're doing to, correct any little minor corrections, whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm straight, and you're like, no, you're not. So, but yeah, what a beautiful thing.
I like walking too. That's a good form of exercise for me. Just getting out, walking in the woods or wherever. I find it helps me think too,
Absolutely. And especially in a nature setting, right? Just connecting back and, and I think that's, I grew up in a very rural community, small town, Oregon. And I'm in San Diego now. So like, I'm not going to lie, it's very, if I connect to my extrovert social butterfly, put on my like social pants, I can go out and be energetic and not really be affected. But if I'm not really prepared, I go out into the city and I just get pretty overwhelmed with there's just so much energy, and just like cars driving really fast and people and, I don't know, just a bunch of stuff. And so if I'm not prepared, I tend to find myself being like, oh my gosh. Just because I'm so, I love the serenity of the studio, and I have, but it's cool. Like, it's such a interesting, I'm curious, like, as to like how I'm going to find that balance of just, because it is like, I love interacting and I love group settings, but to find those group settings, like it's such an interesting journey and that's what I love. That's another thing I love about the CCFC group is just everyone is so interesting. And, we all have like kind of those common values and like that core enthusiasm for the same thing. And I love that about this group.
Yeah, me too.
Really
like they're my tribe, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, it's so interesting how close I feel with so many of us within the group. And that it's, I even said the other day, because I'm close in proximity with a couple of fellow students. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go up for the night. And my husband's going, you don't know this person. And I was like, what? Yeah, I do. And he's like, you've never even met them. And I'm going, oh, well, it doesn't feel that way. So I'm going to be going up and we're going to be doing a paint day. So, and it was so interesting because when he was like, you don't even know that person, I was like, yeah, I do. She's like my best friend, and he's like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess maybe I don't technically know them, but I was like, who do you really know? Like, are you trusting your group of friends that you found through a spiritual art practice? Or are you trusting your friend that you met at the bar? Like exactly. When it comes down to it, like, who do you really know? And like, no offense, but I'm going to lean towards my spiritual sisters more than I'm going to lean to this, like, oh yeah, I had this really interesting conversation at a bar with this stranger,
Exactly.
Yeah. Cause I was just like, of course I know them, and then I start counting back and I'm like, well, and I've only actually known them for a couple months too, but I don't know, the energy, right? You like pick up on the energy and you're going, no, you can just tell by the vibration. You can just, yeah.
Oh, and Robin had a comment. Mysha, it's very healing for introverts to be alone to recharge. Yeah, exactly. That's me. I'm an introvert. I can go out and, be with a lot of people and interact to come back and have some alone time.
Yeah, and just breathe in the stillness. And I mean, there are times even when I'm driving, I used to drive to music, but now I find that, and the same with painting, I used to paint to music, and now it's like, if I'm driving, I'll either not have anything, or maybe I'll put on some Tibetan singing bowls or something. And the same with painting. Because I really find that a lot of times it helps me really connect to source in either silence or very some very light sounds, but not really worry about like if I click on like what's my go-to Pandora station right now, like Jai Wolf or beach bar lounge radio or something, like, but when I'm painting, all of a sudden I'm going, that song doesn't work with where I'm at. That song doesn't work with where I'm at. And I'm just like, okay, 9 hours of Tibetan singing bowl, push play. So
Nice.
interesting how that works.
So do you have any tips for the those in our creatively fit coaching on some of them might be kind of shy, or I don't know, they might be afraid of going live and things like that. Do you have any tips for them?
I think what I started doing, because when I started my daily doodle, well, it was going to be an art year, and sorry for anybody who's watching this that takes offense to this, but thank God for COVID. Because the plan was that I would spend a year creating art, and then for my 35th birthday, I would hold a gallery opening for myself instead of a birthday party. And so really I was gonna, make that. And almost right when I started the art year, because I had this idea, it was like early 2019, knowing that my 34th birthday was going to be November 2019. And so I had some time to kind of plan and say, okay, well, I'm gonna work on these pieces and this piece, and oh my gosh, this book, this daily doodle book, is going to be brilliant. And forgetting that there's only a certain amount of time in a day. And but that's what it was fun. Like, I was definitely dreaming and I was having so much fun. And then, like I said, like almost as soon as I started, maybe like by December, I had a couple of signatures painted, and because I was going to hand bind the book, and all of a sudden I'm going, I'm not even comfortable having my mom touch the pages that I've done, and I'm only like 28 days in, and like, how am I gonna like watch? And then like, do I allow kids into this gallery opening? Are people going to be respectful? Do I need to bring gloves? Like all of a sudden, all the like worry, fear-based stuff. And then, by March, COVID's like, you're not doing anything with anyone. And I'm not going to lie, like I kind of took a sigh of relief and was like, okay, so it's not my fault that I'm not going to have a gallery opening. But anyway, so the short story long, when I started that art year, I was vlogging. And so I was doing video blogs. That was the idea. And it would take me hours to just set up the camera and try to say something. And then I'd watch it back and I'm going, oh no, that doesn't sound right. Or, oh, I scratched my nose, or, oh my gosh, look at this hair. No. So I would say for video, I think it's, first of all, speak as if you are speaking to somebody that loves you. I think that, have the conversation you want to have with the camera as if the camera was the person that loves you. Because really, people that are watching this live, people that are watching this replay, you didn't get to whatever we are, 35 minutes into this video because you don't want to watch it. And so really you are sharing for the people that love you and want more of you in their life. And so I think that's a huge, like, you know, like I said, I was just spending hours on these vlogs, and now I'm just going live. It and it was so interesting that because of course definitely at first when you're going live, you're going, well, what if the dog barks, or you know, what if somebody walks in, or what if I drop the camera? Yeah, what if? Who cares? You know, oh my gosh, I dropped the camera, you know,
I
like
know.
welcome to real life, you know? And so I
Hmm.
think that was like such a empowering thing, is just like speak as if you are talking to somebody that loves you and wants more of you in their life, and you're going to just open up and be able to share more from your heart and less from your head. Because I think that's really like, if you can really share from your heart and what you truly believe and what you know, what fuels you and what's exciting for you, that's going to come really naturally, versus if you're thinking about
Hmm.
like, how do I look, and you know, what am I wearing, and you know, obviously like if you can have some good light, sure, like that's great, but I mean, my best lighting is over there, but this is my energy corner, so I'd way
Hmm.
rather be in the energy corner than in the nice light.
Yeah, I love
You
those
know,
paintings behind you as well too.
thank you. I was noticing, I was like, I've got a lot of like feminine
Goddess.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of feminine divine energy going on, which, and that's again like that's why I'm in this corner instead of in front of the natural light window, you know, like, because at the end of the day, this is what makes me glow, you know, this is why I'm glowing, and this is why I'm happy, not because I've found the optimal light to reduce my wrinkles, you know, like.
Hmm. Yeah, because I just started going live last year, and it was terrifying, the first one, I'll tell you. Like, I mean, it's hard. I know it's hard
Yeah,
to
and you're
start, but
sweating and you're going, I hope this
yeah,
is
and
okay. Am I
but I
breathing?
think it's you're more self-conscious and thinking, what are people thinking about me? Like, are people judging me and all this? But it's just after a while you just get over it, and you know.
Well,
I
yeah, and
don't
like, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't replay my videos back over because I'll just criticize them too much, right?
Well, and again, like if the person that's watching is not interested, they're just not going to watch the rest of it,
Hmm.
you know? And like worst case scenario slash best case scenario, it ends up on somebody makes fun of you and puts you on some video, and you get like 100,000 views on your video because you dropped your phone in the water. Like, great. So I have 100,000 viewers that know who I am now. Like,
That would
you
be a
know?
good thing, though, wouldn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like best case scenario, worst case scenario, you drop your phone and people make fun of you, and then you get tons of views for it. So like, is that really the worst case scenario? Or, you know, like,
Hmm.
yeah. So I think it is just like knowing that what you have to say is worth it, you know? And
Hmm.
because I would say, you know, like if you want to go live and say, hey, I've got this booger and I want to pick it, you know, I mean, like, is that something you want to share? Like, I don't know. But if, you know, but if I want to share about like how brilliant this process was,
Hmm.
I mean, because
Yeah.
it is like, I think so often we criticize ourselves, and we don't even share just our wonder and our excitement and our joy. And then we're not influencing other people. I mean, even just um like I said something, oh, I went live, I was pointing back there because that's where I painted it. My nephew and I, my nephew is 2, and we did
Mm.
a version of freedom. And so basically I just, you know, had him, helped him squirt a bunch of paint around the canvas. He picked his different colors and squirted paint, and then we just finger painted. And then he stood up,
Mhm.
and then he started moving his feet, and we had such a fun time. And then I pinned up the canvas to do my meet the maker, because I'm doing a month long. Um, I created these daily prompts for myself to just to go live, and or
Mm.
to have a video, and there was this blue fox that kind of appeared in the corner, and I was like, yeah. And
Oh.
so I made this video because of this prompt, right? Like it wasn't even necessarily that I felt called to share the painting, But when the prompt was silver lining, I was like, yeah, what a beautiful silver lining this is. I don't live close to my nephew, but that means that when I do get time with him, we fully embrace that.
Oh,
And
that's so
so,
much fun.
yeah. And so I was like, oh, yeah, I see this blue fox and there's this bear. And so my sister commented on the video because, you know, she wasn't in here while I was filming. And she goes, oh my gosh, that's the blue fox he was talking about meeting earlier today. I had totally forgotten, but earlier that day, he told us, I want the blue fox to come. And we're like, what? And he's like, the blue fox. And we're like, the blue fox? Yes. And we're like, oh, okay. Like, you know, like, what do you say to that? You're like, okay. And so because I shared that video, my sister was like, oh my gosh, that's the blue fox he was talking about. How cool is that? And I didn't even think about it. And I wouldn't have connected that had I not shared the video. You know, like she and I were in the same house, and I never would have connected that had she not watched the video that I had posted about that.
Amazing.
Right? And so it really is like just sharing. When you feel like you want to share, share, because somebody needs to hear what you have to say. Whether it's just absolutely impeccable from start to finish, or if you find yourself going, oh gosh, what is that word? I don't even remember. I can't remember that brand, whatever that is. That somebody out there somewhere needs to hear what you are saying. That's why you are doing it. And so if you just, and again, like, just remember that we're all in this together. And so we are really sharing our journey to allow other people to be involved and share their journey and just be this, you know, just raise up, you know, as this collective, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, there are people out there just looking for what you've got, right?
And you'll never find them if you don't reach out, and if you don't give yourself the opportunity to meet up with these people. You'll never find them if you don't take the first step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any last comments, or where can people find you?
People can find me. I am Mad Mysha, Mysha Art and Design, making your stuff highly attractive. Acronym. I am Mad Mysha, madmysha.com, Mad Mysha on Instagram, Mad Mysha on Facebook, Mad Mysha on YouTube. So pretty much that's me in a nutshell for sure. I want to know where we can find you, because a couple of us ladies, we want to know your painting. We want to know all your painting secrets. So where can we find you at? When are your classes coming out?
My main website is Ann-Marie-Cheung.com, and I also have heartsake.ca. I can post my my link tree in the comments. It has all my stuff is in there.
Perfect. What's your favorite platform?
I'm actually liking Instagram these days. It was Facebook for a while, a lot of Facebook, but now I'm kind of leaning more towards Instagram.
Nice.
And I just started doing reels on Instagram too, which is those are fun.
I saw you got like over 1,000 views on your first reel, right?
For the first one, yeah, because I had to figure out, because I have an Android phone and it wasn't reels, it wasn't working, so I had to figure out how to. I had to delete the app and reinstall it, and then bingo, it's working. So sometimes that's all you gotta. That's all you gotta do is just reinstall something to get it working, right? But they're quick. They're only like 30 seconds.
15 to 30 seconds. Yep.
Yeah, maximum. So that doesn't take much time, right? Like if you're working on a painting or something, just make a little reel.
Yeah. Beautiful.
No time at all, right?
Yep.
How about you? What's your favorite right now?
I love Instagram for the fact that it's more about the visual first, and then you can read more if you want to. The one thing that I do think is cool about Facebook is that if an old post gets a new like, that it kind of comes back up, versus like Instagram,
right.
you have to like, in order to get to my, what is it, May 25th? In order to get to my May 25th doodle, oh my gosh, what was May 25th? Yeah, you have to like scroll, scroll, scroll,
Mm-hmm.
scroll, scroll. But I'm actually, I did a freedom session with a friend yesterday, and he's like super, I started a Twitch channel. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
about Twitch?
I'm on Twitch. I was for a little bit.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did you like it?
It's good. I didn't get that much response. It was okay. Like
Okay.
I did a few live videos and I kind of stopped after a while.
Okay. Yeah, because he was like, we need to get you on Twitch. And
Mm-hmm.
because he's really techie. And so he was like, oh, I know all the algorithm hacks and whatever. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, if you're willing to, and I love trades. I'm like so big on trades. So I'm like, if you're willing to trade art sessions for technology, algorithm sessions, like I'm happy if you're happy. So yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna get Twitch going. So
Bob Ross has a Twitch channel.
oh, way cool. Okay, that's awesome. I do love.
But yeah, yeah, because
Robin.
it's mostly for like a gaming platform, but there's like a little creative portion to it, like creative niche.
Right. I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind playing some Xbox on it too, but
I
I haven't had much time
are
for
you
Xbox.
are you into gaming?
Oh, not. I mean, generally, I'm not going to play it by myself, but it's a very fun way for my husband and I to keep in touch when he's away. And then we have like our quality time, hunting terrorists or whatever on Call of Duty or something. So.
Well, I'm not a gamer, but my 16-year-old son is. So that's why he got me started on Twitch, because he was on Twitch. So I thought I'd check that out, right? I'm always
Yeah,
open.
absolutely.
I'm like, so, new ideas, new platforms, whatever.
And it's cool to just
try it
like
out.
wanted to explore the different avenues. Yeah, just like, but yeah, I do think, I think Instagram is still like my favorite as far as, I don't know, for some reason, I think it's easier to post, and just the visuals it's nice. And then you can click in to read more if you're interested. And so that's really handy.
And there's also LinkedIn too, that was my first social media that I ever signed up for, was LinkedIn. So I have a lot of followers on there, or connections.
Connections, right? Absolutely.
And it's more like a business platform too. So yeah, I think that's pretty good.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I'd totally forgotten about LinkedIn, because after I left the corporate world and decided to go more artsy, it was like just that old paradigm of like, well, this isn't a real job, so I'm not going to be LinkedIn, and it's like, wait, yeah, when you said that, I was like, yeah, wait a minute, like,
yeah,
totally.
It's like art is my job right now.
Art is my job. Yeah, absolutely. And that's like the friend that I was working with yesterday, he was saying like, okay, if you had $50 billion, would you still make art? And I'm like, I would make so much art, because do you know how many art supplies you could buy with $50 billion? Like, are you kidding me?
I would build an art retreat center if I had that money.
That's what I told
him. It would be, oh my God.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, okay, I'd buy a couple of private Fijian islands, and, big enough for an airstrip. And yeah, it would be a retreat. Like, I would have a retreat, and I would just paint probably almost every day, and go snorkeling in the water that's like the temperature of my body, and love life. If that's, yeah. Cause he was like, oh yeah. Like, he's like, he was like, I love how much like passion you bring to like this art project. He's like, it's not even you that wants the painting, it's me. And yet somehow you're more excited about this than I am. Of course, like, it's creativity and you're interested in learning about it. So I'm totally interested in sharing. So
great.
Yeah.
So we should probably close for now. It's been wonderful chatting with you and getting to know you better.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. I really appreciate it. And I love the Artist Cafe, like, such a brilliant idea. So Thank you so much.
It's fun. Yeah, I'll be going down my list.
Perfect.
Okay, so goodbye everyone for now. Have a wonderful day or evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.
Bye for now.